Part 3 of Nutnfancy's review of Crossdraw vests and my case on how I think they answer certain tactical loadout situations for a grab-and-go system for both military, law enforcement, civilian sheepdogs, and that. Sorry about the abrupt end in Part 2. Battery died. So picking it up in Part 3. This is it. This will be Part 3 and the final part. Let's go to the back of this Tac Force Desert Tan vest. And there's some stuff I want to show you there as part of the review. It has webbing. Yeah, it's got a knife there, and I've been asked about that a lot. I'll talk to that in a sec. But on the back of most vests, and again, the configurations will change over the time, probably already have, you have webbing. This is called Bts Webbing, at least that's what Blackhawk used to call it. And what it is, it has Velcro on the inside of the loop, and you have pouches that can come in and attach in a wraparound fashion and lock into that. It's kind of the predecessor to Molly gear, Molly gear system. I think Molly is a lot more effective, and you've seen this vest before. This is a Blackwater configured for shotgun carry, and Molly has a very small loops, and the straps attach very tightly into Molly webbing, and they make it so the pouch does not move and it really locks into place. It's a superior system to this BTS system I'm showing you. However, it still gives you capabilities in that you can buy pouches, maybe even butt packs that will attach into this and lock, and they do flop around a little bit more than Molly gear in my experience, but it's better to have, better than nothing. And for a $50 Crossdraw vest, that's pretty darn good. Anyways, I don't put generally pouches on the back side of my vest. I don't like it. I like a clean back. They're hard to access. Just can't get back there. However, it does give you some other options. Like you see here, I have a Cold Steel Coboon Tanto 550 corded into one of those straps, and you can see how I did that. Tried two different ways. This way is sufficient. I tried going double over. Not necessary. This one's fine, and it really locks in there. Again, like I said in my review of that Coboon Tanto, I like that little clip on the Conceal X holster because it helps it lock in there as well. Now, this is just an experiment by me, putting a knife on your left shoulder, because you run out of real estate on a Crossdraw vest, and that might be another disadvantage. Everything's taken up with pouches, your holster, and there's not really another place to put your knife if you just want to use a vest. I'll talk about the belt option here in a second. So this is something I'm experimenting with. It's very fast on draw. You just reach over on your left shoulder and pull it out. However, putting it back in is problematic, obviously, because you can't really see it. And I don't know. Do I recommend this? It's an experiment. I learn by doing, learn by using. That's why you see me using this gear. And then once I come up with a final say, I might share it with you. But just like you, I'm just experimenting. But it's an option, and this is a very lightweight, nice knife to carry, and I like it right now as being part of this loadout system because at least I can grab the vest and nothing else, and I'll have a decent fixed edge blade with me, and that's a nice defensive blade. Look for my review on it. I think I already have one out there. Anyways, you could actually go with a bigger blade. You could go with a full-size combat knife. Heck, you could probably even put a Wakizashi sword back here if you really wanted to, using this webbing. And again, that gets to how I've talked to, I'm trying to think if I've covered stuff already because I've done so many clips on this. That gets to what I've talked about as capabilities, gives you versatility. Now, since we're back here, let's look at the adjustment system on this vest. And the adjustment system is nice. It's fast tex buckles, and it's very fast and easy to use. I like this one best of all. And that's as opposed to maybe some older Blackhawk systems which used a laced adjustment system. I think it's a lot more time consuming to use this system versus that one. This will give you a more precise fit, but this one is more versatile, especially if you're in a climate where you're layering up and layering down constantly. So the bulk of your clothing system is changing constantly. You probably want this system. It works a lot better. Zip, 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 zip. You can tighten it up very nicely. So let's go over to the Blackhawk vest, and it's very similar. This is the loadout system I'm carrying in the Blackhawk. It's carrying a SIG P226 that the owners give me for a review. Thank you very much. And right now, this extra magazine pouch is carrying a Microtech Amphibian manual action knife. Very nice knife. Great tactical folding option. Up here, I got 2 mags riding. And then in this pouch, what do you know? A Phoenix TK10 flashlight. Word of caution, if you put your TK10 or a similar flashlight that has an exposed actuation button on it like this one does, and you push down on it, the light will shine. It'll go off just like that. The only way you're going to prevent that, and Phoenix really needs to extend the back end of that light a little bit more so that button's not exposed, but you're going to have to unscrew that actuation cap to prevent that. I found that out in a night shoot at a tactical clinic. My light kept going off. Everyone's like, dude, your light's on. What? Yeah. Learn by doing, just like I've said. So this one's got 3 mags again, GI variety with Magpul followers. Same type of concept I've shown you previously. I already talked about how the zipper on the Blackhawk's better. It's a heavy-duty YKK zipper. I love those zippers. However, the TAC Force Wind, modified as I've shown you, will work just fine. In this pouch, what do I got going? What do you know? 8-power Zeiss binocular, compact. That would be an excellent addition as well to have observation capabilities. So you'll have to decide what rides in that pouch. It's up to you. How about the hydration capability on the Blackhawk? Well, they always change their designs. I think this vest dates back a few years, and as you can see, they don't have anything to attach the pouch with, and this vest actually needs a retention loop sewn in it so you can retain it, the bladder, that is. Now this one also, and actually all Crossdraw vests pretty much have a capability to accept a heavy-duty web belt. As you can see, these are the straps that will go over that. TAC Force has them too. Other brands have them. This is more capability for your Crossdraw vest. Perhaps you say, you know what, dude? I need a lot more rifle capability. I need more than just 3 magazines. By the way, let me take a quick detour here. Here's the Blackhawk catalog, and there's 2 varieties of Crossdraw vests that they're showing. Omega Elite, that's the retail on that's $205, which is a lot, and it has those snap buckles in addition to the zipper. And then the one you're looking at right now is a Blackhawk Omega Crossdraw. It retails for $149. You can get it for less than $100, generally speaking, if you look around. They have made some changes to it, and that's why I'm doing this now, is that the magazine pouches actually hold 2 magazines per pouch for a total of 6 on the current Omega Blackhawk vest, as opposed to the singletons that you see here. How do I feel about that? Well, I prefer the singles, to be honest. Like I've said in my overall philosophical discussion on the system, 120 rounds combat loadout is generally going to be enough for the reasons and the scenarios I've discussed in part 1. Keep in mind, too, ammo's heavy. You load up 30 rounds in your magazine, that's stout. And you put in like, 6, 8, 10 of these on your person, plus your pistol magazine, plus your knife, your water, maybe even body armor. Dudes, that's a lot of weight. If you haven't poured it around, you need to, and you'll have a completely new appreciation for how much work it is to carry around a lot of weight. That's why I say singleton mag pouches are fine for a Crossdraw vest. And so I actually don't prefer the new design that carries 6. If I need 6 mag pouches, maybe I'll go with a different tactical system. And this singleton, I'm talking the single mag pouch, M4 mag pouch variety of Crossdraw vest, is very versatile when you add a web belt. Because I can take a rifle carrier and just put them on that web belt, and as long as I have real estate around the circumference of my belt, I can add as many mag pouches as I want. Versatility. And this is an older style GI mag pouch, and guess what? It still works fine. You know, it's not the uber tactical type that everyone likes, but I think they're cost effective and they work. And they hold 3 mag pouches apiece. And I actually take the malice clips off and then put on some plastic Alice clips that will clip on to save some weight. I got these from Tactical Tailor, I think, tacticaltailor.com. And they'll lock right on that belt. And there's other options you could go with too. Here's a Blackhawk double mag pouch, M4 variety, Molly back, but guess what? It attaches that web belt just perfectly with the adjustments available to it. So yeah, we could put all kinds of magazines around our belt. Keep in mind, though, when we do that, we add weight, we add complexity to our system, and bulk. With these pouches hanging off on your side, you no longer have a streamlined vest. You've got a full-on tactical system, and all that entails. Not bad. I mean, if that's what your system needs, you can do it. And what my point is, the Crossdraw vest is not completely limited. If you put your web belt on it, you got all kinds of capabilities. But also, you lose the simplicity of just being able to zip your vest on. I mean, the advantage of having a Crossdraw vest without the belt, let me put this back in, is that it's just so simple. You just throw it on, zip it up, and you're armed. You're ready to go. I like that. That's very, very cool. You put a web belt on there, then you add complexity. One of the things I've noticed is that these retention straps on the bottom of the vest will kind of bunch up sometimes, especially if you don't have pouches or, you know, holsters, whatever, keeping them in place. So you kind of got to reconfigure that. Not a big deal, just a little bit extra complexity, just a thought. So there's a lot of versatility there. The configuration on the Blackhawk is just like I've shown you before. By the way, what's this thing right here? This is actually a Blackhawk rifle retention thing. So if you go single loop tactical carry over your neck and shoulder and your rifle drapes down, you can actually use this to retain your rifle so it stays out of the way. I have used these a little bit, and I think they're pretty functional. I like them. Are they necessary? No, not really. But it depends. If you're doing some running and sprinting and you want to secure your rifle, they are helpful. Just a thought. By the way, another disadvantage, I didn't bring this up in the Crossdraw review, is that it has no provision for body armor like newer Molly systems do. And let's go back to this Blackwater system. Here we see a Blackwater system configured for combat shotgun and pistol on the top, and it has some class 3 armor inserts in it, which is basically anti-pistol round. And it has integral pocket for those, and you can actually put rifle plates in there too. Reference my rifle plate review. So that's pretty cool. The Crossdraw vest does not have that, at least the versions I've seen. Others might. However, it's easy enough to put your class 3 vest, you officers, underneath your Crossdraw vest and just zip it on over that. So it's not completely limited, but that is a disadvantage. It's not a one-piece thing. But overall, to have your magazines with you the way I've discussed, to have your pistol rounds, maybe a knife, flashlight, and everything in one place, grab and go, the Crossdraw vest is really hard to beat. Now, some of you guys watch this and go, well, which one should I get? Blackhawk, TAC Force, what? You know, and some guys may be tempted to email me, hey, I found this one for $17. Is this good? Please don't do that. Do your own research. I've given you enough information in these videos talking about the quality of stitching, the materials, the nylon, the features, that you're now armed to go out and make your own decisions. I will tell you, I've used TAC Force, I've used Blackhawk, I've used Eagle, and all 3 of those brands I would recommend. And no, I'm not going to review other brands, generally speaking, of Crossdraw vests. This is it. But, I mean, use your common sense. You can go out and find something, you know, that will work. But the TAC Force brand is very high value, and it does work, given its limitations, which I've discussed. I mean, heck, I paid $50 for this vest on sale. And again, I buy everything on sale, or I get it for a military discount, since I'm military. So I try to buy smart. The Blackhawk vest, like you saw, the retail on it currently is, I don't know, $149. But you should be able to get it for about 100, maybe less than 100. You know, is it twice as good as the TAC Force? No, it's not. In fact, another disadvantage of the Blackhawk, I hope they've changed this in other versions, is to have this holster really tight. So as you put in your SIG 226 in here, they need to change the stitching configuration. To put it in, seat it fully, you actually have to take the gun out of battery. The slide comes back. See that? I don't know if I'm showing that adequately. So it really needs to be modified, the stitching does. That's a minor thing that could be fixed easily with your own thread and needle. But, you know, my point is Blackhawk's not perfect. And it's expensive. And unfortunately, Blackhawk, as time has gone on, has raised their prices. You know, just like they all do. You know, Eagle started out affordable, and then as the years went by, they cranked their prices up. Blackhawk started out affordable. They were a more affordable option to Eagle, and as time went by, they cranked their prices up. Hate that. Now TAC Force is filling in that niche of affordable tactical gear. And guess what? As time goes by, they're going to increase their prices. No doubt. So get them while they're cheap. So that's my review of the Crossdraw vest. it is indeed a tactical loadout problem solver. Not perfect, but for the systems that I've discussed, I really, really dig it. Thanks so much for tuning in. That's the end of it. Hopefully I answered all the questions you had on this particular system. I'm sure I have not, and I've forgotten stuff. If it's really important, if I have time, I'll annotate it on the video. Thanks for tuning in, the good ratings, and for keeping me going by subscribing. It's a lot of work putting this stuff together, but I think it helps a lot of good people around the world, and you won't find this information in many places, that's for sure. Nutnfancy signing off. Come and see us again. Bye-bye.